Welcome. It's lovely to have you with us. If you could tell us who you are, where you are from, and what A levels you did at Hereford Sixth Form College.
Hi, I'm Bethan. I'm from Croesyceiliog in Cumbria, and I did English literature, Spanish, and classical civilization A level in Hereford Sixth Form College.
Fantastic. And what are you studying now and where?
Classics at Oxford. So still
Fantastic.
weird to say.
Sounds amazing. And so when you came to Hereford Sixth Form College, did you always think, yeah, I'm going to go to those top universities? Tell us about what you found when you came here and tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, I didn't think so at first. I think I was about a month or two in, like by the time the first parents' evening came around, I was like, no, actually, I am smart. I'm gonna go for it, kind of thing. So I came up to you, Vicky, at the parents' evening, the first one, and asked you to put me on the Reach program because I wasn't put on the Reach program automatically. I think at that point I kind of knew that I wanted to apply to Oxford, but I was kind of going back and forth over the year. I was like, oh, I do, and then I don't. And even in September, I was like, no, the pressure's going to be too much. But I mean, here I am. So obviously it was a good decision.
And what did you like about your subjects? What led you to classics?
Well, from when I was like 10, I was really interested in like the mythology and stuff. And obviously I have the like, oh, I read Percy Jackson when I was a kid and that kind of thing, and everyone here has that. So that's quite normal. I mean, I came to Hereford because I wanted to do the classical civilization A level. Like I knew I was really, really interested in it. I was mostly interested in kind of the mythology at that point. And then I read the Iliad and it was like life changed. Like I know it's stupid, it sounds so ridiculous.
No.
But that's what it felt like.
That's amazing. And so you're also doing alongside your classical civ, you were doing two of the tough ones, English Lit and Spanish. How do they help kind of prepare you? Tell us a little bit about how the balance worked with your three.
Okay, well, I basically accidentally picked the perfect A levels for a classics degree. I did it by accident because I didn't know what I wanted to apply for when I started. But there's a lot of like literary analysis, which obviously I think English Lit helped me massively with that. Like I really enjoyed it as an A level as well. I really like English literature. I was kind of on the fence about which one to apply for, but then I went for classics. But classics, I quite often think of it as like English literature, but with ancient Greece. So I know.
Definitely a good way to sell it.
Yeah.
I think I might go back and do classics now at uni.
You should. It's the best course, in my humble opinion, of course.
Not that you're biased.
No, not at all. I would never be.
Lovely. Now tell us, how is the course going so far?
Really well, I think. The tutorials definitely are very interesting.
So what's a tutorial? Remind us what's a tutorial.
A tutorial is, I have 1-on-2 tutorials. So it's just me, my tute partner, and my tutor. We write an essay one a week, and then we go and discuss it in the tutorial. But I think it's much more low key than you expect, kind of thing. It's more of like a discussion, and it's actually really, really enjoyable. You don't feel like you're in a class kind of situation or anything. It's just very, very interesting, and you get a chance to think about all these things that you never would have been able to think about before. And I think the tutors here are they're experts in their field, so it's kind of amazing just to get to talk to them. I thought that when I interviewed, I was like, even if I don't get in, I've got to talk to all these amazing people, and like it was brilliant. So I think that's definitely my favorite part. Because I do classics and I haven't done any ancient languages before. I also have intensive ancient Greek lessons right now. So I have, I have 1 hour a day of contact time for that, and then extra work that I have to do myself. And there's a lot of homework and a lot of vocab, and it's just very, very quick. And they're supposed to get you up to A-level standard within the first year, basically. So, and like a bit beyond A-level standard, I think. So it is very intense. When they say it's intense, they do mean it's intense. I think the Spanish A-level kind of helped me with that though. Like I came from a very kind of languages background, I suppose. So for GCSE, I did NVQ French, short course Welsh, and Spanish GCSE, and then I did a Spanish A level. So when I applied, they were kind of like, "Oh, this is brilliant! This is amazing!" I was like, "I did this by accident," but it worked out well. So,
and that amount of contact time is unbelievable, though. I mean,
I know for humanities, it's a lot.
Wow. And how many tutorials do you have a week?
one for my essays. So we're currently doing the Iliad. So I have one Iliad tutorial a week. I know, it's great. I love it. I'm enjoying myself. And I have one language tutorial a week as well.
Amazing. And then imagine you were yourself back at school. What would you say about applying for uni or applying to the top universities? What would you say even about kind of working for your GCSEs? What would your recommendations be if you were speaking to yourself at 13, 14, 15?
I would say probably do more work than I did would be a good idea. I feel like I could have done better realistically. But at the same time, I wouldn't let any experiences that anyone's had up until this point kind of dissuade them from applying to even a top level university, because I thought with my GCSE grades, they weren't terrible, but they also weren't straight A's. So I thought I didn't think I would be able to get in here. So that was quite off-putting for a while, but I don't actually think it was that much of a problem.
No.
So I wouldn't let that put you off or anything. Just I was about to say, just work your hardest, but that was so cliche.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
And then did you know much about the process of applying? Did your family know loads? Could they help you out? Or tell us a bit about your family and things.
I'm kind of the first person to apply. My family didn't have like tons of uni experience. So I think a few people were a bit put off by me applying to universities like Oxford, and Durham was my second choice as well, and that's quite far away, obviously. So I think everyone was concerned about Durham, but there were a couple of people who were also a bit like, isn't Oxford a bit too much? Like, why don't you just go to uni in Cardiff kind of thing? I knew I wanted to go to Oxford, so I applied here anyway. There's, I think Lady Margaret Hall is especially good in terms of bursaries and just the stuff they give away. They really do just try to help you. Like if you need it, a girl on my floor, she had a Chromebook and she couldn't run her lab work on it, so they just kind of gave her a new laptop to use because she needed one, which to me was like, what? Like, that's amazing. But I think they definitely try to help you out. Here we have the Margaret Coombs bursary as well. I don't know if I just said it last name right, but it's kind of like up to about £300, which if you qualify for it, you can use for like sub-fusk, which is like the fancy Oxford dress for exams and matriculation and stuff, and like books and laptop, bike, like anything you could reasonably need. I know some people who qualified for it and were just like, I'm gonna rinse the system and get as many things as I can possibly get, like sub-fusk, bike, laptop, and like fair enough, like if you can do that, then you should do it.
So what's the Oxford community like? Is it all work and no play?
Well, I feel like I haven't really got a proper feel for it right now because of coronavirus. So I would definitely say it's not all work and no play though, from my experiences. Normally in LMH there's one formal a week. They have like a formal dinner on a Friday.
Oh,
yeah. Basically we've all been put in these kind of like household bubbles, which are just the people on your corridor, and those are the people you are like allowed to socialize with. So I'm quite lucky though, because my tutorial partner is also in my household.
Nice.
So yeah, he's we are actually the only people doing classics in LMH in this year right now. So I know it's interesting.
Wow, that's amazing. Oh, that's really cool. Fantastic. Any final hints and tips about someone considering doing A-levels, going on to university? Final hints and tips.
I would just say, first of all, pick A-levels that you enjoy doing. Don't necessarily pick the ones that you are the best at, because if you don't enjoy them, then you won't work at them. So for me personally, I was not naturally brilliant at Spanish, but I really, really loved learning the language, so I kept doing it. And I think that was kind of a key part in me getting here at all, was the fact that I had a language background.
Yeah.
It's not a necessity, but it definitely helped. So, and I feel like you will know if you want to do something, I suppose. For example, when I was writing my personal statement, I was originally applying for English literature. I'm not sure if you remember. I was writing it in a Reach lesson, and I was originally applying for English literature. And I got halfway through, I wrote a paragraph on Sylvia Plath, and I got halfway through an Iliad paragraph, and I realized I wanted to write the whole thing on the Iliad. And I was like, in that case, I will apply for classics instead. And this was in like September. It was a very last minute decision. It was a very, very last minute decision. It just kind of clicked that was what I wanted to do.
I remember that session. I just remember being like, You just love classics.
Yeah, I know.
You just love classics. You should be doing classics.
Yeah, because I had been debating it for a long time. I didn't know what to do. I felt very torn because I was naturally quite okay at English literature. Classics was definitely the right choice. Like, I love it. I'm obsessed with it, basically. It's a problem, but it's a problem that works for me. So
basically, you just need to find your inner geek.
yeah, I think that's good advice.
Definitely. I think the other thing is that it is one of the things that helped you to go to such top universities, that were you were doing two of the kind of facilitating subjects, the kind of tough ones. So I think that's another advice I would say to students who are considering going on for, even if you wanted the option of the top unis, even like Cardiff, Bristol, Birmingham, etc. I think it's a good idea to look at what are the facilitating subjects. So do Google those. But yeah, that is fantastic. And also I do remember just discovering the Iliad, and I was just like, yes. And it is like kind of everyone who does classical civ does fall in love with classical civ.
Mm-hmm. So, I think it's an inevitability.
I think so. What's not to like? Greek myths.
I know. It's amazing. It's the best subject, and everyone should apply for classics. Apply for classics at LMH. I'll see you next year.
That is so helpful. Thank you so much for chatting to us, Bethan. It's so good to see you.
Of course. You too. Thank you.